So I'm asking myself, as I always do when I'm kind of creating things, why am I doing these particular kinds of drawings? I mean, I've talked a lot about the relationship between seeing and hearing, where my music goes, but I'm feeling with this series of works, especially the ones like this one, inspired by Rainforest, that there's something else happening. One of those is to do with the relationship between pictorial reality, like here where I'm working at the moment. Although even in this kind of area, there's an embedded abstraction, which of course I began up there at the beginning of the drawing with this kind of abstract configuration, almost a sort of Beardsley-esque, almost surrealistic kind of feeling for the place, which of course if you're there it really has. But I think it's raised a very interesting dilemma for me, which is what's the function of abstraction? What in a sense does it represent? And I think that because I work in probably the ultimate abstract art form, which is music, which has a form of notation which is by its nature symbolic and therefore abstract, these drawings are teaching me, pointing me towards how to deal with the dilemma of abstraction and pictorialism, between something which is a direct, unmediated response to something, and then a creative, interpretive, or transportational way of working. And I think that Heather, you're pointing towards this kind of drawing as notation is a very important observation. I think that I am noting what takes place between the vertical, between the horizontal, between elaborate textures, between simple textures, between the obscuring of light and the letting of light through, and all the way through this work. I just feel like it's part of the re-signing and the reassignment of my creative work in a more direct and more absolute natural crossover between the act of looking and the act of hearing. I can't say as I'm drawing this I'm hearing music, but what I am drawing are the same kinds of dynamic, rhythmic, structural elements which form part of the composer's dilemma, stimulus and whatever. So it's a fascinating process. When I look at this, the amount of, as it were, writing of signs, symbols, signals that the drawing embodies is just utterly compelling, and it ain't that far removed from the actual experience of nature itself.